the lighthouse at Loop Head in County Clare. One of the few operating lighthouses. And that's Pat there and Helene, I think. Somewhere on the west coast of Clare. That's Pat and Anne Murray. And that place is known as the Rosses in Loop Head. And that's John and Suzanne Hennessy in Carrigaholt, County Clare. And that's John and Suzanne again. And that's Pat and Anne and Michael and John crossing the Shannon. And that's Sister Kieran on the left next to John, and Sister Patricia on the right. And they were Pat's aunts. And there's a group of nuns at St. Elizabeth's Convent in Dingle. And there's John and his granddad. Some part of the County Kerry. And that's John and Sister Patricia. With a wee of pence. And that's at Slayhead, County Kerry. Sister Elizabeth and John. Sister Elizabeth, she was always a great friend of John's. She always asked about him. There's Sister Patricia. Let's see the dusk of a misty day. The lakes of Killarney in the background. That's known as a pulper, for making pulp out of turnips and potatoes or mangoes. And there's sheep waiting to be shown. There's a man shearing the sheep. And I think that's on the Ring of Kerry. And that's John and our cousin Lena Murphy, or Lena Creedon. And that's Lena Creedon and Eddie and John Creedon. They're cousins of ours in West Cork. And that's Eddie and Lena. And that's John and Peggy O'Leary. And now she's Peggy, no, she was Peggy Murphy then. Now she's Peggy O'Leary. And there's Carty looking out the top window. And there's Annie Thompson. And one of her kids. And there's a group at Murphy's in Carrignamug. That's Eddie, Jerry Thompson, Danny Murphy, Mrs. Thompson, John, Peggy O'Leary, myself, and that's Shirley Mulcahy and Alan Mulcahy. And that's John and Mary Murphy. Mary just had a new hip replacement. We went to visit her in the hospital in Cork. And that's Mary and myself and Pat. And this picture was at Rings. And that's Maura there, Mrs. Ring, and Nora, and Eddie and John. And that's Shirley Mulcahy there. And that's Shirley in the middle, and Alan on the right, and Kenneth, not Kenneth, but Tony on the left. And there is Shirley. And that's Eddie and John, and that's a house that Eddie built. It was built for the President of Ireland at the time, Dr. Patrick Hillary. And that was his study when he was in Sneem. Kenmare Bay in the back. And that was lunch at Creedon's. That's John and Pat and John Creedon and Lena and his mother Lena. And that's Shirley and Alan and Eddie. And that's the famed Park Nasilla Hotel. And they're the brothers Mulcahy. And that's Kenneth and Tony. Kenneth and Tony Mulcahy. And that's Kenneth and Tony again. And that's Sheila and Eddie and Pat and John. That's a good picture, John. I think you took it. think that's Kenneth and Sheila and Eddie and Pat and myself. That's another shot at Park Nasilla. And this was the old homestead in Coolbar. And that's Tommy Ronan. Tommy was a great family friend. And that's the old kitchen in Coolbar. And that stool that John is sitting on, I made that. And that's the fire machine. It's a bellows for blowing the fire. And there is Coolbar at that time. This was 1974. That's John and Pat. And that's Millie Ronan. And that's Millie and Tom. Millie and Tom are a brother and sister. And that's John. And that's Ronan's house, as it was in 1974. And this was at Buckley's in Killer. That looked like a fine day. John is sitting down there outside the door. And that's Mary Ellen, and I just don't know which one of her children it is. And that's John and Mary Ellen and Pat in front, and then the baby, and I think that's Robin. And probably Veronica could be on the right. I don't know who the other two are. And that's my old schoolhouse in Flashmore, built in 1887. And that's the altar in Flashmore Parish Church. That's where I used to serve Mass until I was about 19 years of age. And that's the Munster Black Water at Hart Cellar in Clashmore. And that's the Cotton Gloss directly across from Coolbar. And that's our neighbours, Mag Ronan and her son Mick. And that's the Ronan's house. And that's the Keating's house. The Keatings. I think that's Joan at the back. And that's Bridie Lenane and Nellie, who's the mother, and Pat and John. And I don't know, I think the little fella in front was Gerard. Now this was in England. And that's Michael Conroy there. That's John in the middle, and they're his first cousins. That's Michael Conroy and Kieran Barry. And that's Martin Conroy's grave. And that's my sister Ann here, and Martin was her husband, and that's Mary at the back. Myself, Kieran Barry, Martin Conroy, Michael Conroy, and John. And that's Marion Conroy. And that was the grave just beside Martin Conroy's. We don't know who he is or who he was. And that's Shiela Barry. Another one of John's first cousins. And that's Helen Barry. And there I am with my three sisters, Eileen next to me, Anne and Mary. And that's Jean when she was a fiddler. Jean Connery, now Jean Evaristo. And that's Jean again. Now Jean Evaristo. Jean Conroy. And that's Carol Barry. And that's Shiela Barry. And that's Michael Murray, 1974. And that's Mary Murray. And that's Anne Murray and Mrs. Hennessy. And that's Jeremiah there. Little son of a gun is about 6'4" now. And that's Anne Murray. And this is outside Maurice, and I think this is when we were heading back to the USA. That's Michael. Michael Murray, John Murray, John, Anne Murray, Pat, and Auntie Mary. And that's Noel, and Anne Murray, and Eileen, Pat, Father Michael, Anne, Mrs. Hennessy, Mary, and down below, John, Murray, and our John. Oh, I think this is out on the Hill of Hout. And that's myself and Mrs. Hennessy. Yes, this is out in Hout. And that's Noel and his mother. And that's Jeremiah. And that's a grotto, I think, up near Clonmel. And that's John in the airplane on his way back from Ireland. He's a little bit tired. There's Joseph, probably about 4 years old then. And there's Danny and Kathy Radley. And that's Jack and Peggy. And Jack has taken a slug. And that's Maurice's first communion with Father Johnson. And that's Maurice, and I think that's John Breer. And that's Maurice and Tinny Mosier. And the priest on the left is, I think he was Canon Houlihan. I think that was his name. And Maurice and Father Duggan. And that's Father Duggan and Joseph. And now is Sister Kevin's Jubilee. Now, which one of them is Sister Kevin, I don't know, but I think it's the one on the left. And I believe that's her brother. And that's Sister Kevin, and Maurice on the left, and Mary on the right, and I don't know who the two little girls are. And that's Sister Kevin. And that's Shiela Q on her wedding day. And that's Sheila and her mother Mary. And they're the Quayle women. Mary and Sheila and their mother Mary and Maureen. off to the church to be married. That's Auntie Mary, and that's Sheila's friend Patsy. I don't know who else is there. There's Sheila and Mary. And there's Sheila walking down the aisle. I think from that point she can see Michael above waiting. And by God, was he a lucky man. And that's Our Lady of Lourdes Church. There they are, what a handsome pair of people. And there's Johnny Quayle and his mother, Sheila's grandmother. And the blackguarding has already started in the back seat of the car. Good. And there's Father Riley and Bridget. And that's John and Helena. Those were the days when Helena was bigger than him. And that's Bridget. And this was John's confirmation. That's Bishop Maguire, myself and Pat, and then down below is Mary and Elizabeth. And that's John. And that's John and his mama. And that's Father Gale, Bishop Maguire, Father Johnson, and that's Father Lavin. Father Lavin was the chaplain at the Cushing Hospital in Brockton. And that's John. Good picture, John. And that's John and the Bishop. And that's Elizabeth and Mary. Sheila and Maurice. That's Joseph. And that was Easter Sunday. It was probably 1973 or 4. That's Maurice.